Welcome everyone to another video, and today we're going to take a look at a Pokemon that was nerfed to bits about 2 years ago in the Go Battle League, but it is now back and hopefully back to stay. And this Pokemon that we're talking about is Altaria. So Altaria is one of the OG powerhouses of the Great League with Dragon Breath, Sky Attack, and back then I think it was either Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast. So that was its moveset of choice, but this season it had I would say 3 upgrades, with Sky Attack having I think its damage upgraded, Dragon Breath having its damage and energy generation reworked, so it becomes more of an energy generation move, and it also has access now to Flamethrower as a coverage move against the steel types, which otherwise would be hard walling Altaria. So with this team, we will have Steelix in the lead with Thunder Fang, Poison Fang, as well as Crunch. The only reason why I have Crunch instead of the recommended Earthquake is because I ran through I think 20 TMs and it keeps shifting me between Crunch, Breaking Swipe, and Heavy Slam. So that is why I just stuck with Crunch. Of course, Earthquake is recommended, and I think it is also recommended for you to get Earthquake. And we have Hypno, which also got a buff in Confusion, Ice Punch, and Shadow Ball. So without further ado, let us get into the battles. And here in the first game, we will have Steelix versus a Shadow Driftblim. This is exactly what we want, and Crunch in this instance is very beneficial because it will one-shot the Driftblim, but we know that they will shield most probably if we had actually gone to Crunch, but we didn't, so we immediately threw the Poison Fang, and we are going to farm them all the way down, and we will come out with a Poison Fang banked. And here they will have a Torterra in the back and a Azumarill, which is going to be very good for us because Altaria is in the back that will hard wall Torterra if it does not run the Stone Edge. And here we have Hypno, which unfortunately does not have Thunder Punch because I believe that I wanted more coverage versus the ground types that are in the meta, such as the Marowak. So we have to make do with Shadow Ball damage versus the Azumarill. So here we will come in with Altaria and take this charge move on to our Altaria. As you can see, that Frenzy Plant doubly resisted will not do any damage at all to our Altaria. And we are going to shield this one and thinking that it will be a Stone Edge, which it is, which means that it is a very well spent shield. The last shield will take them out, and here we are going to raise to a Sky Attack to get the shield out of the way, and hopefully they will expand their shield to take us out. But we think, you know what, they might over farm a bit, so we just can swap into Steelix and farm them down anyways. So here we have Shadow Marowak in the lead for the second game, and we are going to try to over farm just a bit here, try to see whether or not we can bait a back to back to hopefully you know, get some shields from this Feraligatr, right? Because at the end of the day, Altaria will have a good time against the Marowak, and here they do spend both their shields, which is very good for us. And now we are going to let the first Hydro Cannon go, but we will shield the second Hydro Cannon. But instead they swap immediately to their Marowak, which is fine by us because now we can swap to Altaria, right? So here we are going to still have one of our shields, which is good for us because now we are going to throw our Sky Attack and hopefully farm them down before they get to a Rock Slide. And is this a Rock Slide? Okay, yeah, it is, but it's okay because now we are almost near another Sky Attack against this Feraligatr if they do come in with Feraligatr. But they come in instead with the Talonflame, which is going to be very bad for us because now, as you can see here, they are going to overfarm. They are going to get to a 4th Incinerate before dipping out into the Feraligatr, which is fine by us because the Feraligatr does have quite a bit of energy there, and getting it out of the way is very good for us. and here they have the back-to-back flame charge, but because of the dragon typing, we will be resisting it, and we will be able to dragon breath them down before that incinerate registers. So in the third battle, we have Altaria in the lead with a Marowak in the back. We are going to immediately swap the Altaria to counter this Marowak, and we are going to be able to tank one charge move, which is fine. And now it is to the races. Unfortunately, it was a charge attack priority. We should have thrown a bit earlier just to maybe get a shield of our own, but it is okay because now we are going to be hopefully farming them down and have loads of energy for their own Altaria. And I think at this point we will be getting one shield because Altaria would not like the damage that this does to them. And yeah, they immediately swap into their own Empoleon, which is, at this point, I think the writing is on the wall because Steelix will have a lot of health to farm down, and here we are able to get to another Psychic Fangs to debuff them, and we are going to leave Hypno with that high damage, confusion damage, to take them out. Even if they have a flamethrower, one flamethrower will not be enough against the Steelix. As you can see here, it only does about 50%, which means that we are going to get to another Poison Fang to debuff them even further, and at this point they are just going to let it go down, and we didn't even have to bring in the Hypno there, which is insane because now you see how these two Pokemon just synergizes very well with each other, because the only thing that can like call break these two I would assume would be a Galarian Stunfisk, but Galarian Stunfisk is something that is not really that common right now. So yeah, these two is a very good pairing to have, and here the opponent has Cresselia and a Togekiss in the back. They do not have an answer so far for the Steelix, and here we are going to, I think, shield the first one and hopefully try to get them even lower in terms of health, and they are going to immediately throw the charge move on our Hypno, and we catch an Aura Sphere, which is insane because now we get all the farm and not that much damage on our Hypno, and they have a Gastrodon in the back, which means that Hypno will have quite a lovely time versus this Gastrodon, just throwing ice punches at this point because we want the shields out of the way. And here we are going to swap into our Altaria and hopefully farm this Gastrodon all the way down, because Cresselia will not be able to do that much against us because it's already low health, and yeah, Gastrodon will not be able to do much as well. And here in the next game we will have a Dragonite in the lead, another very good lead for us. Unfortunately, they have access to superpower, so we will shield the first one and we will try to catch it on the Hypno if possible, and we do catch it on the Hypno as you can see here, but it was a Thunder Punch, which is very bad for us because now they will bank some energy before coming in to a Dunsparce, because now Dunsparce will not be threatened at all by Hypno since Shadow Ball will be doubly resisted and Ice Punch does not do much in a neutral setup, especially against the Dunsparce, which is very bulky, as you all may already know. And here we are going to swap into the Steelix again to try to chunk them a bit more with our Psychic Fangs and hopefully take them out before they throw another charge move, but they do shield it for some reason, which is fine by us because now we are going to try to farm them all the way down, but they swap into their Dragonite, which does not let them do anything, and our Steelix get even more farm from the Dunsparce here. And here we are going to ramp up the debuffs with our Steelix here. They are running Acid, which means it will be triply resisted here. As you can see, Acid does nothing at all. They need to throw the Grass Knot to take us out, which they don't, and they're trying to debuff us with the Rock Tomb, which is insane because now Crunch, as you can see here, will take them low enough where Dragon Breath just deletes the Cradily from that range. So as you can see here, Altaria just cleaning up house for Steelix, which totally dominated the opponent's team, and we will see a Gastrodon in the next game. So Gastrodon will be quite a neutral matchup versus the Hypno, and I did not shield the Water Pulse because I forgot that it was one of the buffed moves of this season. And as you can see here, they only required 5 Mud Slaps to a Water Pulse as opposed to a 6 for the first Water Pulse before this season, which is fine by us because now we are able to throw another Shadow Ball and hopefully take them out, which we do. And here they have an Empoleon in the back, and yeah, our Steelix will have a really fun time here. We are going to let the first Hydro Cannon go, and here we are going to throw a Psychic Fangs again to try to take them out even faster, right? But at that point I thought that maybe we will not be able to farm them all the way down, and therefore we swap into our Altaria, which is a very bad move because now, as you can see here, Altaria does have quite a bad matchup with their last Pokemon, which is Togekiss. Togekiss having access to Pack will just generate energy insanely fast, and unfortunately this Togekiss is ramping up their energy, and they are going to be able to throw Aura Sphere against us and take us out. And yeah, they have a charge attack priority against our Steelix, so yeah, no way back for us in this game, which is very unfortunate because we almost got it right. It's just that we didn't have enough juice in the bag to take them out. So in the next game we have a Talonflame in the lead. We are going to throw the Psychic Fangs, which is what we were supposed to get to first before they get to a Flame Charge. Unfortunately we had immense lag, which is insane, which unfortunately for us means that we will have to use a shield first. And here they have a Cradily, which means that they will debuff us, and we will let them debuff us before we swap into the Hypno. Hypno will ramp up the damage first, ramp up the energy first before we throw it against the Cradily, because we want to throw it at a position where we do not give them too much farm and hopefully get to take them out. But they do get to another Rock Tomb, which I think shouldn't have happened because in theory our damage should have registered first, but in this instance it didn't, which for some reason is how the game mechanic is nowadays. And here we see a Dragonair as their final Pokemon, which Altaria will be able to have a good time against because now they are not able to reset the debuff. And yeah, we are going to shield, I think the first, oh yeah, we didn't shield the first one, thinking that it will most probably not be a Dragon Pulse, which it does have access to. And here they throw a second Body Slam, and here we try to catch on to the Hypno. Unfortunately it would not be able to be done, but it's okay because Altaria with one Dragon Breath is able to take them out. Going into the next game, we have another dominant lead in the form of Galarian Moltres, and they do have a Diggersby in the back, which Altaria will have a lot of fun against because we totally just resist every charge move that it has, right? Except for Hyper Beam, which it does not usually run, and in this case they show their hand and they do have Scorching Sands, thinking that they will get the debuff, but they don't, and we are just going to farm them all the way down from this position and hopefully get a lot of energy to throw at the Galarian Moltres or even their last Pokemon, right? But of course we will not use a shield on Altaria because we will still be able to make it out of this matchup with a lot of energy and hopefully have Steelix seal this game. Because as you can see here, Moltres is now almost at half health and Steelix will have a lot of fun in this matchup. But they immediately swap into a Gastrodon, which is fine by us because our Hypno will still be able to take them out, especially with this type of like energy generation that we have. And even if there is an issue with Hypno, I think our Steelix still has a bit of energy, I think, for a Psychic Fangs to take them out, which is okay for us. And here they stay in with the Gastrodon, which I think is a mistake by them, because if they had swapped into their Galarian Moltres, I think it would have been fine for them, but they swap out very late here, as you can see, because we are able to get to another Psychic Fangs and debuff them and try to Thunder Fang all the way down. And yeah, this Galarian Moltres does not have anything in the back against us, as they usually run Fly and Brave Bird. And here we will have another Psychic Fangs ready, but they just will not tolerate that at all, which is fine by us. And now in the next battle, I think this is the last battle, I'm not exactly sure, they have Altaria in the lead with an Empoleon as the safe swap, which means that we are going to stay in with a Steelix, because our Hypno is in the back that can handle Altaria, and we will swap the Altaria to catch the second charge move, because we do not want to use both shields so early in the game. As you can see here, this is one of the reasons why, because their last Pokemon is Dedenne. So Dedenne is going to be a very interesting matchup for us, because they are going to ramp up their defense with Parabolic Charge, and this is where Earthquake would have been a lot better on the Steelix. It's against the Dedenne, since our Steelix is going to be the dedicated counter to Dedenne. And as you can see here, they swap into the Altaria to catch the Psychic Fangs, which is okay by us, because now we are able to come in with our Hypno and start ramping up that damage from the confusions. And here they are going to throw a Sky Attack. One Sky Attack will not be enough, two is also most probably not going to be enough, and we are hopefully trying to get them out of the way, but they just do not want to play on the risky side. They are going to shield the Ice Punch, going to shield the second Ice Punch, and hopefully we are able to get to a third Ice Punch, which they will not let us go, because they swap into their Dedenne to throw the Parabolic Charge to ramp up again. And here they throw a Play Rough against us, which we find that it is fine, because now we are able to throw a Psychic Fangs to take them out, and we still have some energy left in the bank and to throw another Psychic Fangs, but they will just let it go. So as you can see here, Steelix and Altaria is a very good call for the Great League. It just depends on what you want to use as that third Pokemon, something of a pivot that can handle the ground types but also handle some of the counters for Altaria if possible. So yeah, with those battles, let me know what you think. Is Altaria truly back in the Great League? I believe it is back and here to stay, unless something adverse happens to it in the subsequent seasons, but I think that it is here to stay. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, leave a like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.